Well, howdy there, neighbor. Sounds so creepy. So today we're gonna be drawing some characters, one character in particular, and wow, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this, but if I'm not talking a lot in this video, that's because I have no idea how to instruct people. But I'm pretty good at drawing, so that's good for you guys. Also, sorry about like the 20-day delay, or what is it, 19-day delay. School is kind of a drag, so just had to get that out of the way. Anyways, I'm going to be making a fighting game character that is similar to E Honda. I'm going to start out with a skeleton here. Oh, and before I get into it, if you prefer animating in Multimedia Fusion, you can do that, but for this tutorial I'm gonna be animating in something called Spriter that I downloaded off of a website that I'll put in the description box below, and hopefully a link in the video here. So I'm also drawing with the drawing tablet now. I moved on from the mouse, so sorry if I'm leaving people behind. The way we're going to do this is we're going to be using a lot of onion skinning so we can separate each body piece, because in a spriter what you do is it's basically taking it back to old school. You make the body parts, you import them, and then you animate it that way. It's a pretty quick and efficient way to do it, as a matter of fact. So let me try to get a good skin tone right here. I think that'll work. I might actually fast forward through some of these drawing scenes because I know it takes a while. I don't want to take up all my time, so. I also forgot to mention, since we're like exporting different body parts, we're gonna have to use different angles. Not of all of them, but for a few. I know for a fact the torso needs to have at least 3 angles or 2, and the head needs to have at least 3 or 2. The hands need to have an open and closed frame, or body part rather. Now that I think about it, this is like a one piece, and I don't know why anybody would want a fat guy in a one piece, but that's video games for you. And there you have it. All the body parts are made, exported, and ready to be put into Spriter. And here we are in Spriter, the totally awesome and cool spriting software thing that I downloaded. So let's get into it. When you want to start a new project, it's going to prompt you to go to the root folder where all the body parts are, and I happen to save mine in a folder called sprite parts, where I can just simply select the folder, and as you can see, all the body parts that I made and exported appear right over here, except for this, which is not how it should be. This one should probably be cropped, which I will do so here by cropping, re-exporting as foot basic re, and as you can see, it showed up here, so now it's big and how it should be. All of this right here is unnecessary. You don't really have to rename anything, but I want to because I'm pretty neat about stuff. On the body, the first animation we're going to be making is an idle animation where he'll just be simply breathing. You can start importing the body parts onto the frame. Over here where it says Z order, you can move it up and down, so I don't know where it is, where it's supposed to be at least. I don't want to have that open hand out. I was hoping it wasn't still in the frame, but yeah. As you can see, it doesn't look very good. The foot, facing the same direction as the other one, and that can easily be fixed by going here, fixing this up real quick, making it look like it's facing the other direction. Probably should have just filled that in, but I don't know. Re-exporting this, not paste, but export as foot angled. If you ever want to change like images in the middle of the actual frame, you can click on this here and then right click the new image that you want to change it to. You can change it to something like that, but that wouldn't make any sense because who walks on their head. I wanted that to be there, so it looks like it works fine. And last but not least, got to put the head on the body, and there you have it. All the body parts are imported into Spriter. You can zoom in so you can get more preciseness. I'm not sure if that's a word, but whatever. What we're going to do now is add in all the bones to the body. And this basically allows you to animate everything that you want and or don't want. And you do that by holding down the Alt button and dragging it down to wherever you want it to end. I'm going to have it end here. Have that there. Here. You basically just trace it. go. Now, in order to assign the bones to the body, we're going to go over here. And as you can see, there's a lot of bones, but they're not assigned to anything. What we're going to do first is find the first bone, which is the middle one, and we're going to assign the torso to that. We can do that by taking the torso and dragging it to that bone. So basically, wherever this bone goes, the torso is going to go, as you can see. But the rest of it isn't synced yet, so it doesn't look quite right yet. Bone 1 and bone 2 aren't needed, but bone 3, 4, 5, and 6 are. So bone 3 and 4 should be the left and right leg. And then bone 5 and 6 should be the right and left foot. This being bone 6, hopefully. I don't know if I got that one right. Let me check. Oh, I see what happened here. Yeah, I didn't get that one right. Okay. That actually goes here. And this one goes over here for this bone. That's actually the foot. Oh, that's weird. That foot body part disappeared, but it should eventually show back up. Anyways, this bone right here is bone number 13. That's where the head is going to go. If I can get it in the right place. This upper right arm is bone 11. Gonna put that there. Bone 12 is this guy right here. Bone 8 is the upper left arm. And bone 9 is the lower left arm, which totally disappeared. Ooh, that's creepy. I have a feeling if I open up some of these, they'll start showing up. Of course they did. Lucky me. So the foot is where it should be. This one seems like it's missing a foot right now. And that is that bone right there. This is what it's missing. You should go right there, I believe. No, you should go right here, right below it. It's not as hard as to assign the bones as it looks. It's actually pretty easy, and it is efficient. Comes in handy later, a lot. Oh, didn't mean to move that one. Wrong bone. Anyways, as you can see, all the bones are assigned. We can actually begin animating. What I'm going to do first, since this is actually for a fighting game, is I'm going to put him into a fighting kind of stance. Make him look like he's getting ready to, hit somebody. So probably just going to lean that just a little bit. Lean it about in that direction. Oh, that's so weird. these bones seem to be connected when they shouldn't be, so let me try to disconnect those from each other. I think I can bring it out. I'm not sure. Definitely want to close it though before I do. I'm gonna try to bring it outside of the rest of these bones. Okay, that looks like it should work. Alright. There we go. Anyways. Probably want to move that back down and rotate this about right there. Probably move this down just a bit. And that should work out. So the way animating works is basically the way any kind of animating works. In an outer program like this, we're going to be using keyframes, meaning this up here, this is the starting position. So whatever this is, that's how the character starts off, and it eventually moves into whatever you make it move into. For example, if I twist this arm up here and that keyframe appears down here, as you can see, the arm moves. And it makes a pretty smooth looking animation. But we don't want this keyframe here because this is an idle movement. So we're gonna go to about the middle of this frame here. His arm should be back in place. It's kind of weird that it's not. But yeah. Anyways, middle frame for the breathing, basically just gonna move this up just a bit, move this up just a bit too, and then bring his body down, make it seem like he's really breathing into his stomach. Can just move around his body parts, make it look like he's putting emphasis on the fact that he's letting air in and out of his body. And as you can see, looks pretty smooth. Now what I'm going to do is take this keyframe back here, copy it, go all the way to the end, and paste it over here. So that way he just basically goes back to his beginning position. So we're going to export this to a PNG. We're going to make a new folder in the same place as the body parts called Animations. This is where we're going to save all the animations, and they basically go out into frames for me. So I'm going to call this idle or breathing, and I'm going to save it. It's then going to ask me how many frames do I want, and I'm going to go with about 8 of them just to make it seem, you know, pretty basic but not taking up too much memory. I'm going to click OK, go back to Multimedia Fusion where this stop animation with all the body parts are. I'm going to delete all of these, import idle, always be sure to click on the first one, then check import as animation, okay, and there you have it, your breathing living character in 8 frames. Also gonna make the hot spot at the bottom middle for all of these. And it's really important to put the hotspot like exactly in the bottom middle, especially for fighting games, because it really comes in handy when you're jumping around and moving and stuff like that. anyways, that's just basically how you make an animation in Spriter. I will finish up the rest of the animations and get back to you on the next part of the tutorial.